Hey everybody, this is XL 10 Minute Leaders Live. My name is Graham Brown. We're going to learn in the next 10 minutes about bootstraps and bra straps. So we're joined by the author of said book in the studio today, Sheila Mac. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on the show today, Graham.
It's great to have you here. So we're going to dive into your world a little bit and learn about your writings and your journey. We've got 10 minutes together. Are you ready, Sheila?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. So, the formalities first, Sheila. If you have a business card or if you don't, what would it say? What does it say on your business card?
Okay, Sheila Mac, REBOOT Specialist. So I help people reinvent, rebuild, and reboot their business and personal life on their terms. That's it. And then my phone number and website,
Okay, well,
sheilamac.com. Yep.
we'll come to those at the end.
Okay.
All right. Reboot means what exactly?
So to rebuild, to reinvent, and to reboot is basically whenever you're in a situation like we have been globally with our universal pause pandemic, where there's a shift that happens in business or in your personal life. And usually those are kind of entwined in many situations. And so I tend to work with businesses, and then I end up working with families and relationships and other things as well, and team building, and as it's all people really. And so it's whenever you hit that rock bottom or that shift where you really need to reinvent what's going on in business to get to the next level that I come in and help to reinvent. And this time you're building business on your terms, life on your terms.
What's the problem with all of that? Why can't people do this themselves?
It's perspective. It's when you're in that situation where, oh my gosh, now everything's changed. What am I going to do? You're looking so close at your business from what you know and what worked that you can't see the outside perspective. And so that's really worth everything, is just to have some perspective to it and then a guidance to get back on track slowly.
And for yourself, Sheila, where does your superpower come in here? Where did you learn that? Why do you feel that you're good at this, and why do clients reach out to you? Was it something that you've experienced yourself? Was it more of the technical training? Did you hit rock bottom yourself? What's your superpower? And tell us, how did you acquire it?
Oh my gosh. Well, I started my first business at 23 years old, running big gift stores, 5,000 square feet each. And then I ended up with over 200 employees and 5 stores. And so I had to figure out how to help people and work with teams and work with leadership that way. And then later on in life, I had my own reboots and situations. Like once I had this fire and lost my home, my cat, my car. And that was in 2017, the California fires. And I sat down and wrote out the formula, which is the Boots formula, on how to get back on track. And I thought, this is the advice. This is what I've always done in business and my personal life to get back on track. And so that's kind of it.
Yeah, well, I imagine most people have never experienced something like you've been through, like losing everything through a fire. And we saw it on the news, but we rarely encounter people who
Right.
actually have experienced that firsthand. What does that do to you? Because it's not like, for example, if just losing a business, I mean, you can understand that there are sort of many advice manuals out there for what to do, but losing everything in a fire, that must be a particularly unique and challenging situation.
It really is. I got demoted in a day. I lost my house, my car, and my cat all in a day. And it was, then I'm borrowing a beater car and I'm trying to get back on track and doing all these things and renting nice cars to take clients out and do things. And within a month, using my formula mindset, who I'm being and all I'm doing, it doesn't matter that I had to go live in this little one of my rental units. I took the back cleaning area that's kind of like the maid's quarters or whatever it is, where you have the towels and this and that. And I was there. And that's where I stayed because all the places were full. And I wanted people to stay in the other units that had families and children. And I had to really get the mindset. It's not about where you live. It's not about what you drive. It's not about anything about other than who you're being and all that you're doing.
Did you know that before the fire, or was that the kind of epiphany moment for you?
Oh,
Was
that
that?
was, yes, that was a definite, it was something I always took with me, but it was
Mm,
that was my mantra. And all I'm doing is who I'm being. It doesn't matter. And I had to go with that when people were like, she's crazy. What is she doing affirmations? What is she's driving this beater car and she's never going to get back on track. Within a month I moved to Beverly Hills and had
mm,
a beautiful upgrade in what I was doing and new consulting and working with big teams, real estate teams, and this and that. And it all was really the mindset and
mm.
following the step-by-step formula.
Okay. Bootstraps and bra straps. What's that about?
So that's basically, I wrote that book as a guidebook to help people, and it goes through business, for careers, for getting back on track when maybe your business shifts. It's also for anybody going through any type of tough situation, because when you think about it, if you're going through a divorce or you have a difficult relationship, that's going to affect your business. Parenting affects your business, and it affects your life, and your business affects your life. And so it goes into using that formula. I created the Boots formula through all these different situations: parenting, relationships, career shifts, finances. When one thing shifts, like with the pandemic, a lot of us had that with our businesses, we had to
Mm,
reboot. um, it affects every area of your life, not
mm,
just the one. And so that's why the book goes through all those different areas, and it has lots of free resources to help people get back on track.
mm. You've mentioned the pandemic. We can't ignore it. It's the
Yeah,
elephant in the room with all of this, right?
right.
What does what are you finding from your conversations in the last 18 months? What are people saying? How are they dealing with it? A lot of questions here, but are you surprised by how people are dealing with it? Have you learned a bit about how people are dealing with it that surprised you, or are people more resilient, less resilient, and so on? What kind of conversations are coming up as a result of the last 18 months?
I think people have, at first, there was going into fear mode. And I was working with businesses that brought their businesses home
Mm,
and then ended up having their children homeschooled and running a business. And how does this work? And they were so stressed about losing money or trying to get back on track financially and help their employees that they forgot to actually play and have fun time with their families
mm,
and their kids that are home. And they were like, I don't know why the kids are fighting, and they were fighting. And it was like, okay, that's, we need to remember, even in fear, to have a little bit of fun, to relax. And our employees more than ever needed that time to just have some team building meetings where,
mm,
just for morale, to get the work done, because it was such a scary time. So that's what I saw, and that really helped bringing play and fun back into it and really forming a community with your business.
mm. Have people got out of that now? Or are we still fearful? Are people now that we have an exit
Right.
plan strategy? Is the mood changing, or are we still stuck with bigger challenges, which the pandemic has in some way accelerated from before?
With every challenge, there is this magic. The obstacle's the way, right?
Mm,
Where we have been resourceful, businesses are doing better than ever now. People have changed, and sometimes when it didn't do better, it's because they needed to close that business down
mm,
already and start something new. Some people didn't go back to their prior employment because they found fulfillment in something even better and more aligned with their value systems and lifestyle. And so that's the whole, the last chapter in my book is lifestyle redesign and business redesign. And it's you get to now, whenever you reach a tough situation, now you get to rebuild life on your
mm,
terms, business on your terms, so that you're really serving your community, living in your values, and enjoying your life. I think it brought us all to what matters most.
mm. I wonder whether these conversations will last, though. People are asking, but they're happening because people are asking the questions, aren't they? But we've got to somehow keep that front and center, that we don't creep back into the old way of doing things that brought us to those lifestyles that weren't serving us or
Mhm.
serving the people around us. How do we do that? How do we keep it front and center such that it's not just the shock that makes us think about these things, but we need to do this not just for the next few months, but forever?
I think it's really applying what you're doing now to life. And also our young people, it's education. The children home, they get to see what mom and dad's all about. And there's these beautiful magic moments that you can't buy. You can't buy back this beautiful time with your family. And so things like that, that's going to change. I know I have 6 children. I adopted 3 and 3 of my own. And so they're all grown now, but they really think differently just from the pandemic.
Mm.
Politics matters more, getting involved with the community, helping other people, spending time together as siblings. So it really does make a difference. And as far as coworkers, it's more of a team. It's, you know what, we have to have each other's back because
Mm.
we spend so many hours at work. This is our second family. So let's make it a beautiful, happy place to be.
Sheila Mac, everybody, where do we find out more about you?
Okay, so you can go to www.sheila, SHEILA, mac.com. And the book is also available on Amazon, Audible, Kindle, and wherever fine books are sold. So
Fantastic. It's out there. Go and reach out, go and find out more about Sheila's work and her writings as well. Sheila, thanks for joining us on Excel today.
all